Yes, people. Yes, my Gooners. Welcome back to the Gooner Club, brought to you by myself, Romario, Mo, and Huss. We have no Ibs today. He's off swanning around doing some lawyer stuff that we can't talk about, so we'll leave him to it. But Ibs will be back soon. Boys, before we get into it, how are we? Everyone good?
All good, man. All good. Can't complain. Obviously, the only thing I'm going to complain about is I would drop points, but we'll get onto that stuff.
I'm good, man. I'm fresh home from Umrah, fresh home from Saudi, feeling revitalized, man.
How
Feeling
was that,
feeling pure.
Huss?
It
How
was
was that?
amazing, man. It was amazing. Genuinely would. I was going to say I'd recommend it for every Muslim, but every Muslim knows that anyway. But it's more than my recommendation. But yeah, nah, it's great, man. It's good to be back as well. Good to be back on home turf and whatnot. But yeah, eager to get myself back out there. Hopefully, once we are Premier League champions. So
No, I was very jealous you got to go out there and experience that, man. It looked beautiful. But as Mo did say, we did drop some points prior to our previous game, Brentford. We drew 1-1. We'll have a little chat about that. I sympathise with the boys. I thought it was heading towards a classic Arteta masterclass away from home, nullify the opposition, get away with a 1-0 win, you take it. But it didn't happen that way. They're very good from their set pieces. Michael Coyote, I'd love to have him. I think he'd be a good signing. Ben White, we'll talk about. He don't look like he's got long left in them legs. I think he's been running to the ground. But 1-1 with Brentford, which sort of reduced our lead at the top to 4 points over City. But Mo, what did you make of that Brentford draw, man?
Horrible game to watch. Just horrible all throughout. Um,
You're less kind
you
than
know what
me,
it
boy,
is?
because you're not wrong. It was horrible to watch. That
Bro,
was
it ruined
nasty.
my whole mood. Thing is, as well, is what annoys me is I don't know if this is a Mikel problem or something, but we have this thing where you can tell early on just how the game's gonna go. From how we start playing within the first 15 minutes, it looks like we just can't change the tide of things. So that game, I was thinking, you know what, we're just gonna do well to hold out for a draw. Then Noni scores, boom. Literally, as soon as he was about to get taken off, Noni scores. And then I'm thinking, finally, we've got something to hold on to. But just the way we play, I don't get what it is. We just all drop back. I think we made the wrong subs there. Like, I don't know if we're going to go into too much detail about it, but bringing Saka on looked a bit unfit
bit early, wasn't it?
and
A bit
a bit
rushed,
early.
maybe.
I felt like Nani scored that at that moment. Just keep him on. Like,
Yeah.
just let it be at that point. I get it if he didn't score, but he scored right in that moment. Let it run, and then we're getting also a bit of, I don't know, a bit more momentum from him. We've all been asking for some end products, and we're getting there a little bit now. He scores a
Yeah.
beautiful header, but just the way it is, I don't get what it is. We just all retreat and just let them back into a game. And this is what annoys me is that we're trying to be champions right now, but the way we just let these games slide, if we need a winner, why are we not the team knocking down the door in the last 5, 10 minutes? The game should finish with Brentford parked in their own box and us all around firing shots at them, making them work. But when we drop points, it's not happening like that. And
Mm.
that's
If
literally what annoys me. It's
if
like
we
we've
can't win,
accepted a
if
few
we
minutes
can't win, we
before,
take a draw. That's the quote, isn't it?
right?
That's the quote that they keep running with. Declan Rice has said it in so many interviews, and
It's
I'm
too
getting sick
safe.
of it, man. I don't like that quote, bro. I really don't like that quote. If we can't win, don't lose. Like, well, how about just win? How about just go out there and win? Like that, like when we used to watch the old like Klopp's Liverpool, like Fergus United, they would never for a second look like they were settling for a draw. Never. Like in them
Mm,
sort of game, you fight until the very last minute. How many times have we been in a title race watching either Man City or Liverpool or someone, and you hate watching, and it's
Yeah.
1-1 or 1-0 down, and they hit you with that last minute dagger almost every time, and
mm.
you know it's coming. As soon as Liverpool got that last minute winner, you're like, knew they were going to score. And
Well,
I
that
just
was the
don't
Man
think
City
we've got
game.
that. Yeah, I don't think we've got that gene, like that clutch gene in us at this moment in
Yeah.
time. And that is, I know you always ask us, Ron, like, are you worried? Are you still confident? Are you still that was that was one thing that did make me think that worries me a little bit that we haven't, even if you remember the 23-24 season or 22-23 season, we had a lot of late winners in those seasons.
Mm.
And, you know, sometimes arguably too many late winners, you know, sometimes too many late winners is like a sign of, you know, you maybe not winning
Yeah.
games where you should be winning games if you're scoring too many last minute goals. But when you need them, if you can get them, that is a sign of champions, isn't it? And, you know, I still think we are, but you know, it's a bit of an annoying mentality. I don't really love personally.
Do you know it is, boys? The only thing I'd say to like bring some balance to that, because I agree, I'm a bit ruthless as well. I think just go out and win, but I wasn't mad at that result, and I think in the context it's worse than it is. But Brentford was second in the form table. We were first. They're a very good side. They're a very good team. I was lucky enough to be at Brentford's training ground the day before. Talks done an interview.
Well, you weren't spying. You weren't. You know, you didn't pick
Listen.
up any tactics you could have given the boys. No.
I had a little something in the bag, but I must have left it in there because I was planning to slip a little something into Keith Andrews' drink. But yeah, the deal didn't quite go through. That's a joke, by the way. For anyone. Yeah, lasagna gate. I was trying to remix it, but they're a good side. They're confident, bro. They were going into that game. Keith Andrews was so calm and collected. I thought, this is a man who knows they can get a result. One of my colleagues who's a Brentford fan, he was telling me that he reckons they win. And I think that is almost the problem, is that teams fear. I think teams fear what we can do to them in terms of control them, bully them at set pieces. But I don't think teams fear us embarrassing them. And I think that's what you two mean. There's never like a feeling that we're going to go out and score 5-6 goals and blitz them, like what we done against Wigan, which we'll come on to. But I don't know. Is that what you boys are on about? Because when you consider it, Igor Thiago had a lot of chances, which I think he could have scored at least one, if not two of those chances. We had the chance of Martinelli at the other end, which I think was harder than it looked. Are we guilty of, I don't know, panicking? Is this a panic from us?
For me, if Brentford scored first, we're losing that game. At best, we're getting that draw. But that's what I mean.
Yeah, we get a draw.
At best. But the way that we're finishing games, we're not exactly knocking on their door, is what I mean, at the end, trying to get that equalizer, trying to get that winner. So that's what makes me think if it doesn't go our way and we don't get the first goal, especially when we're not playing like amazingly well, then it's just so stagnant. It's a bit slow. We're just following this methodical approach. And that worries me because it's not always going to go our way. So when it doesn't, I mean, 80% of the time, that method works where you get the first goal, you're able to build on it. Now the team's playing into your hand. You can hit him on the counter attack. You can get Martinelli on, stretch the legs. So when we score first, it's made for it. But when we're not, like, and things aren't going our way, it's just frustrating.
I think if you're the opposition team and it's 1-1 and it's 75th minute against Arsenal, not only do you feel quite confident you can get a draw, you feel like you can go and win it, which is mental. That's not how teams should feel playing against Arsenal. Considering on top of the league, like when teams are 1-1 with us, a lot of the times, even like the United game, it didn't necessarily feel like we're knocking on the door against Liverpool when we're drawing. It didn't feel like we were really knocking on the door to get that winner. Like we always do get a chance. Obviously, Martinelli had that left-footed chance. Against Liverpool, we had there's always a last-minute chance coming from a set piece or something, but it's not like consistent pressure where we're knocking on the door and it's like, oh, it's coming, and the team gets saved by the bell or anything like that. It's often the other way around. Like you said, in that Brentford game, a point was definitely a fair result. Definitely, if anything, we were looking to get a point. So yeah,
we're
sticky one.
We're happy to rest on our defense. Like we scored that goal, and we've kind of got this confidence, maybe bordering a bit on arrogance, where we think, all right, cool, we can now just sit back and we'll firm it out. We just rotate our passes, just keep it smooth. Don't press too much. Don't attack too much, and then we'll come out doing what we should do. But I don't know, because it's just frustrating.
Do you know what it is? Well. It's interesting you say that because I quickly just had a look. So it might be more, but we've gone behind in 4 games in the league at least this season. It might be more, but these are the only 4 I can remember. Bournemouth, where we come back and won. Villa, we lost at their place. Chelsea, we drew, and Sunderland, we drew. So that does testify to your point that when we go a goal down, we don't always come back and win. It's only happened once out of those 4 games, and that is a bit of a problem. Let's quickly move on to Wigan because we can talk about how that. Go on, Mo. Go on.
One little point I will say just on that is what I don't like is how we don't kill off these games where a lot of them where we get these 1 goal. We, like I said, we're kind of just resting on our defense and just letting that try and take. Because if you look at City and all these other teams, sometimes when they've got their wins, they've sealed it off by like the 60th minute, 70th minute. They can rest their players. We're going into games against Wolves and stuff, and we're getting the winner late on. Like the game is still an active tie when it shouldn't be in the 85th minute, 86th minute. So you can't even then start taking your Sakas off to try and rest them and start thinking about load management for players. Our games are just they're too busy for these players.
Even the Sunderland game. Even the Sunderland game, we won that 3-0, but we didn't take off Rice or Zubimendi or anyone in that game because it was still like 2-0 in like the mid 80s in that game. So it's like, if we take someone off and we concede now, then it's 2-1. We've got to see out the last 10 minutes of the game.
Boys, you say that. I think that's Arteta, man. I just don't think because 2-0 in the 80th minute, I think safe enough for him to make subs. I just don't think he makes a lot of substitutions. Like I'm even looking like against Wigan yesterday. He brings Saka off at half-time, which sort of goes to you boys' point, resting him when you can. And then he brings on Salmon for Saliba, which is obviously resting Saliba. And then Madueke comes off for Trossard, which maybe he's rest because Madueke and Saka are sort of going to be relied on a lot. So even against Wigan, he's not really making any huge substitutions there. I just think Arteta's approach is very pragmatic in every sense, similar to Pep. There's been times in Pep's career where he's not made a sub in a single game, which some people would probably think is criminal. But these managers are very perfectionist, and if they think this is the plan, this is the team that's going to execute the plan, they're probably too nervous to change that. But my problem is, lads, with Arteta, I haven't got many, by the way. I like Mikel Arteta, but against Wigan, he starts Eze and Saka in the 10. Okay. He would I doubt very strongly he would do that in the league. Even if you replace Norgard with Rice. I don't think you'd ever see Rice, Eze, and Odegaard or Rice, Eze, and Saka. I know we saw Rice, Odegaard, and Eze at one point in the season, but we've not seen it since. Maybe that's down to fitness, form. I don't know. But let's quickly talk about the Wigan game. Saka 4-0. Well, I don't know. Huss, what did you make of the game? It's hard to really analyze the game. Like Wigan are in the bottom 3 in League One. We won the game in the first half an hour. Like I know the group chat was going kind of mad. I was looking at the chat like, these lot need to remember who we're playing, man. This is it's no true. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it was a true measure of much. But what did you make of it?
No. It's not a true measure of anything really. Obviously, when it's Wigan, but of course, there's still a lot of positives to take from it. Main positive, I would probably take it Eze and Saka and Norgard, in fact. And like you said, it's annoying because I feel like a lot of Arsenal fans come away from that game just thinking, why can't we do this in the league more often? And the obvious answer back to that is because we don't play Wigan in the league, obviously.
Come on, man. But they bought on Matt Smith, one of our washed-up youngsters. Big up Matt Smith and that. Big him up. But come on, there's levels.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I think at the same time, that game showed what is still possible for us and what an attack could look like, what an Arsenal attack could be. I don't think that performance had that much to do with Wigan, personally. I know it's easy to say.
Nah, Huss, that's a madness, It's a madness.
Yeah, and obviously it does have something to do with Wigan, but at the same time, I think...
Bro, you do not score a lot of them goals. I don't think you score in the Prem,
no,
honestly.
but still, it's the intent, though. But it's the intent. Yeah. It's Eze dropping deep to get the ball, getting the ball and passing it forward. Norgard taking one touch, passing it between the lines. Saka receiving it in them places and going straight out. The intent from the boys is what I like to see and what I want to see in games moving forward. What we've all disliked as fans is the pragmatic approach, where we keep passing it sideways, we're going backwards. Odegaard's slowing everything down. What we saw against Wigan was very direct, man. Probably the most direct we've been all season, to be honest, in a particular fixture. And that's got to go down to the players on the pitch, right? It's got, when you've got Norgard, well, I'll say Norgard, I didn't realise personally how progressive and how direct his passing was until that game. But you put Eze and Saka in midfield together, you're sending out a bit of a statement that we're going direct, we're going forward, we're playing some attacking football today. And we've never approached a Premier League game like that under Arteta. So even in the post-match press conference, they asked Arteta if he'd consider playing Saka in 10 in the league, and he kind of was like, maybe. It didn't seem like he was buzzing about it. But
Do you
I
think?
don't know.
I got a different vibe. I thought he was quite because didn't he say something he's thought about and something he consider in the future? Saka in the 10.
Yeah, that's why
we've seen it in
considering the future.
periods.
I want to see it more. We've seen it before. He did it against was it Brighton or Fulham a couple of years ago, playing in centre mid.
Yeah.
I think it was
and he didn't play again. And then didn't do it again until yesterday.
But I think it's telling that, like what you said, you didn't like that he would try that because it's something he wouldn't try in the Premier League. But that's what I want to see. I want to see when we're not in the Premier League, let's try something different. Let's try new things, see, experiment, see if they'll work. Because, like I said, Saka 10, we saw something there that said, all right, okay, he can actually do a job from here and do it in a different way to what we've seen from our other 10s. So we've got a profile there that can run the 10, unlike Erdegaard, but he does it in a different way. Unlike Eze's done it, Saka's done it this way. Unlike how Kai Havertz has done it, Saka's shown like a different way to do it. And Saka, he's just, I think we should go into probably the individuals themselves. Let's go into Saka a little bit here, because I think him as a player, he's just so smart. That's what I think is his best attribute. He's so smart that I think he can adapt to anything on the pitch. He just knows what needs to be done. So when he goes there, I think he can do it personally against any team. I don't know if it'll be as effective as him doing off the right wing, but teams like, we need to give him something different, because teams expect Saka off the right wing. They double up on him, and they've found a way to sort of like try and contain him as best as they can off that right wing. This is a different angle that they don't know. Plus as well, why don't we have these rotations where Saka drifts into the middle, and now whoever's our 10, Erdegaard, whoever is now hanging out on the right wing. Like, even when Ozil was our 10, he wasn't just married to a fixed position. The guy you'd see him pop up on the right wing at times and just doing that job. And then you'd see, you know what I mean? Our favorite Arsenal teams have all had these rotations. So like, it makes it hard for teams to sort of pick. So I want to see that. I want to see that when we're playing these different games, let's try something new, because that gives me confidence that in the Prem, maybe we will see another version of a Saka, another version of these guys.
We've said that a lot this season. If the way we've been using our wingers, for me, and probably, well, just clearly the numbers show it, the way we've been using our wingers is not the most effective way to get goals and assists out of them. We've got Saka and Trossard right on the touchline. We've got like Timber and Hincapié getting in like the prime attacking positions where you'd want Saka and Trossard to be. You'd want Timber and Hincapié fly on the overlap, if anything. And you'd want Saka and Trossard like on the inside, on the edge of the box, getting shots in around the box. And it's the other way around. Like it's pretty crazy, to be honest. Like, so I think Saka being in the positions, if we can get him closer to the goal, get him more central, get him more touch of the ball in those dangerous areas, it's only going to be better for us and better for his output. So I think that's something we do need to see more. But my question would be, would Arteta have ever done that if MLS or who got injured? Sorry,
Calafiori.
Yeah.
Like, was that a real plan of Arteta's, or did he just do it because that happened and he chucked it in and he's thinking, yeah, he had a decent game, but
you know, it's Huss. Where I think we got to give him a little bit of credit is he did have Hincapié, your best mate, on the bench. He did have Zubimendi, Trossard, Gyökeres. So he did have other options he could have gone for. So I do respect him, but part of me thinks as well he played Saka because he wanted to just give him a run out. And even the fact he took him off at 45 minutes makes me think, did he just think, all right, I mean, he can play now. I don't really want to play him. It's Wigan. He gets 45 minutes under his belt. We take him off. He's ready for Wolves. So I do think that I agree with Mo. You started sending me back to them days of Nasri, flipping Cesc Fabregas, Arshavin, even Van Persie. A lot of players have done us dirty and broken our hearts, but they were great for us at the time. And they would. pop in here, there, everywhere. Everyone would move around, but that's just not Arteta's style of play, and that's what makes me think. I don't think we'll see much of Saka in that position this season. I'd love to see him with Rice and Zubimendi, because I think then you're really leaning towards a 4-2-3-1, which I think is what us boys are looking for, where you rely less on the fullbacks occupying those sort of half spaces and you've got two midfielders. Because when you think about it, a lot of the reason the fullbacks are even there is because Rice and Odegaard are so high. They're basically playing in line with the striker. Then you've got Timber and Calafiori, Timber and Hincapie or whoever occupying that vacant space. And I think if you've got Saka in there, he can just sort of rotate between all sides. You can have Madueke on the right or Trossard, Martinelli, Jesus, whoever. I just think it unlocks the attack. But I don't know, boys. I just can't see Saka starting in the 10 in any big game this season. I can't.
You know what,
I'd love
though?
to see it.
Maybe it's not about starting, but now we know we've got the option where if we're chasing again, we've got Noni on the pitch, we've got Eze on the pitch, you've got Trossard on the pitch, you might have Erdegaard on the pitch, and you're thinking, I need to get one of these other attackers on. That's something that can work. That potentially, like, it's not going to be their first time playing together.
It also makes it a thing of like, it doesn't have to be Saka versus Noni on the right wing. It doesn't have to be like only one can play. Like Noni offers us a lot of the great things that Saka offers us, you know, in terms of the way he runs past the winger and drives past the byline. But what Madueke struggled with a bit is kind of like being clinical in front of goal, getting them sort of getting crosses off from the inside, getting good shots off inside the box. If Noni Madueke is still there driving up the pitch, causing havoc for a left back, and he's cutting it back to Saka, then,
mate,
you know, it's happy days, man. It's happy days. Like, who else would you really want him cutting it back to? And then if you can also get Eze on the left, I mean, he's another player we should probably speak about. But I mean, I thought he had a great game. In that game, it became a bit deeper. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the Eze performance, man. Because it showed a different side. I feel like what I've not liked from Eze in a lot of these games is a lot of the times I felt like he's not hiding, but he's just staying in positions where he's like waiting to receive the ball for a long time.
You know what
and
it is? Sorry, Brav. I have to cut in at this point before I forget.
Go on.
Now, where are we drawing the line between taking goals of Gyökeres for the teams he scored them against and praising Eze against Wigan? That's the only question I have.
You tell me. You've been
because
giving
you know
Gyökeres credit for every goal we scored, so you tell me.
Listen, Huss, because for me, Brav, I'm just sitting here and I saw that group chat and I'm just sitting here thinking, listen, I love the club in it, but it is Wigan and we do have to just take a touch. You might even have to take 2 touches to control this ball, because what you saw there, you're not going to see that again, bro. And you might see it against Mansfield. We drew Mansfield in the next round. You might see it there, but bro, you can listen. Arteta
I'm not talking about the through ball. Do you know what I mean? It's more
go for Eze. I'm just saying the space he got and the freedom he had, you are not getting that in the league. That is all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
You know what?
The reason he's getting it though is because he came deeper for it. I'm sorry, man. I'll just say this point, then you can jump in. But the reason why I feel like he was getting the ball and why he was getting the space was because he was just coming deep and demanding the ball. Whereas, you know, in the playing games, he doesn't do that. Erdegaard does. Erdegaard does do that. That's why
and then we tell Odegaard to get out of the way and send him up the pitch.
Yeah,
you know what, though?
Because of what Erdegaard's doing when he gets it, though. You know what I mean? Go on, man.
If we look at Eze's best moments of the season so far, we've got the hat-trick against Spurs, and then you've got the Man City quarterback pass.
Palace winner.
Yeah, class.
Right. The Man City one, what does he do there? He drops deep, comes into our own half, and then sees the vision and plays that ball over the top. And this game again against Wigan, he's dropping the ball deep and finding these like cute inside passes that he's flicking through. I didn't know he had that in him, that he was a passer like that. But he showed glimpses of it in that game where he gets it, and he's got that pause that he does. It like looks a little bit lazy, where he's kind of like he kind of drops the defense, makes him think, all right, nothing's going to happen because he's not going to do anything, and then he just plays like that nice inside pass. So I don't know, it's something that I didn't think he had in him, but he's shown glimpses of it. And where I think he's struggling is those further up, getting the ball in those tight spaces, which I thought he was going to be amazing at, which I thought is something that he does so well. He's showing us right now that he's not doing that at a good enough level. So Eze's an interesting one, because I want to speak about him overall throughout this season, because like if you look at all of our new signings that we've had this season, Eze was the star one for me. He was the one that was the real difference maker. That we knew, we saw his bread and butter, what he was doing at Palace.
Let it all work out.
Yeah, exactly. So when we got him, I thought, cool, that's really the truth. And the way he started off all right, we're waiting for these moments to happen. He does the hat trick, and then since then, it's just gone backwards and backwards. And the way he's been the last few, I can't lie, it's triggered me so much, because he's the player I want to see shine so much. But the way his performances have dropped, for me, he started off like up here, maybe one of our better performers from our new players. He's dropped a little bit under Gyökeres, who started to now hit form. Noni started a bit slow, but I think Eze's dropped under Noni for what he's been giving us lately. And I think literally, apart from this Wigan game, for me, Eze was on a par to what was coming up to Norgard. Can he be trusted in these Premier League games to actually play and make a difference? So I'm glad he gave us that little reminder in the Wigan game, and he's taken the opportunity, because Brentford was a low. Like,
Brentford was a low.
I don't know what
went wrong. Brentford game to get dragged at half time. That was dark,
boys,
bro.
I'm gonna. Well, I mean, the channel's not monetized, so whilst it's not, we can do stuff like this. So I'm just gonna add this to the screen, and I just want us all to just take in this goal. All right, just have a look, okay? Because look, you're not getting that much time and/or space in the league.
You actually are, though. You can.
Okay, right.
You can get that much time.
You could, but then I'll tell you this, Huss. I'll tell you this for free.
That's
not many Premier League defenders are letting this happen. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
I agree. No,
okay?
I agree. But for me, it's the first bit, though. That first bit, him having the ball there, is the positive. Him getting the ball in that position and looking forward and trying to make a pass happen. Because if Ødegaard had the ball there, you know what's happening? He's going sideways to the fullback.
Facts.
That's what's happening there.
Agree. I agree with you. Okay, and this is where my caveat to what you boys are saying is, I'm not sure Eze can work as a midfielder in Arsenal's team under Arteta, whilst Rice, Zubimendi, and Odegaard are there, because he's not like any of the three. He's not like any of them, and Arteta's so uniform in how he plays that I don't think Marino's like Rice, but because Marino is, we know he plays the Spanish style. He'll do things that Arteta likes. He's a little bit of a, not a teacher's pet in a bad way, but in a good way, like Saka, where you tell him what to do, he'll go and execute the game plan. Whereas because Eze's so off the cuff and he just does things like, I don't think Arteta's training that pass. I don't think he's training that pattern of midfielder comes deep, look up, winger inside, bang. I think that's very much a player's goal. And this is what I'm saying to you boys. Like, when it comes to the league, I might be wrong. But Mo just said it there. Eze was heading towards a player where you're looking at similar to Norgard. It can even be trusted in Arteta's eyes to play in Premier League games. And that's all it is to me. I don't think Eze's quality, I never questioned his ability or quality. Watching Eze against Wigan's not answered any questions for me. All it's done is make me wonder, well, why is he not playing in the Prem? And the answer to me is Arteta doesn't trust him against Premier League teams in midfield at the minute.
No, you're right.
I think he's spot on.
But we'll see, boys, because well, I could be wrong because he might put him in the team and he wins us the league from it. So I hope I'm wrong.
It's probably because there's no other options, right? Because obviously Havertz is injured at the moment. Ødegaard is essentially injured for a while.
Ranieri's on loan.
Ranieri's on loan. So, luckily for Eze, a situation has now emerged in which he actually might be our only sort of option for the next sort of few games. And he's done enough. That's the thing with Eze. He's got to the point now where all I need to see from you is enough to fucking get into the team for the next game. Like, if he played against Wigan, he did nothing, bro. I don't know when we were going to see him again, bro. Like, it would have been dark for him. So because he did have that performance, he might have a chance now of starting. I mean, realistically, now that I mention those names not being available, it's going to have to be Eze or Saka in the 10 against Wolves.
Facts. It will.
He's going to get his chance right now. And like you said, Rom, it's not a question of his ability. And that's That's actually what annoys me even more. Is because
Yeah,
everyone we signed, we know his ability was top tier.
he
He
was
was
the
coming
one we
into our
probably
team.
had the least amount of
He's
doubts
done
on.
top tier
Right.
stuff.
We all looked at him and said he might even have the best ability of any of the players in our team. So
Facts,
that's what
facts.
annoys me more because for me, it's not a question of ability. It's a question of character. It's a question of
Yeah,
are you able on the pitch to actually be strong enough and show your character and do that? Because at the minute, like you said, he's looked a bit hiding. He's looked a bit happy to be here at times.
Yeah,
Just let it. I'm like, nah. You need to come here and you need to just snatch chains. You need to come here and say, I am the one. I am the king. I don't care if this is Palace. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not here waiting to be for Erdegaard to give me the crown or for Arteta to let me express myself on the pitch. Nah. If you've got that character, you do it regardless. You don't need a manager
yeah,
telling you what to do. And that's
yeah.
the thing.
Well,
Like
you say that.
you
You say
think
I
you think
agree with you.
Ryan Cherky, you think someone's telling Ryan Cherky, nah, only play these type of passes, only do this, only do it. No,
Well, it
he's
is,
balling out the
well,
way
but he
he's
still
well.
gonna
does it.
play.
No, but Mo,
Yeah.
you're right because Pep is telling him, but Shirky
Pep
does
does.
it anyway.
Pep had a go at him for that Rabona assist, but he
Yeah,
still does that stuff. He still
yeah,
goes
And
out
that's what I'm
there and
saying. That
does it. And
shows his character.
Pep can't. Yeah, and Pep he doesn't like it, but he has to stand there and say, "Well, he got an assist from it." So you know what I'm saying? He has to. He is Pep Guardiola, and he still has to be like, you know what? As much as I don't like that, it was effective, so I'm going to play you again. I think Eze
You
has to
got
be
to
like
keep
that.
doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
You
That's the
keep
thing.
doing it and
I
show
think,
you can, then they're not going to question
yeah.
it.
I do wonder if Arteta's like knocked his confidence a bit, and I feel like a player like Eze is so confident,
yeah.
reliant. You know, he's so like mood and like he enjoys playing football. Like he plays football like he's in the cages. I mean, I say that to Kai. Like he plays football like he's in South London cages. Obviously, like, that's what he's kind of come from. So sometimes he does just walk around the pitch. Sometimes he doesn't have that attitude of like I'm pressing high up or I'm doing it off the ball. It's more like I'm just playing football, And like yeah, he comes across a bit like Stainsel when the ball comes to his feet at times and it might get nicked off him. But he needs to have a couple goes there. He needs to have. He needs to have a couple. He needs to be allowed to lose the ball once or twice because of what
Yeah,
happens the third time he gets the ball. And I think he might have had that shaken out of him a little
Huss,
You know
bit,
what
which
it
I hope
is?
he gets back.
I think he is allowed to lose the ball here and there and stuff. But what I think Mikel will not allow is you to not press and you to allow your runner to run in behind you. I don't think he minds you trying something and losing the ball as long as you are showing that you are willing to run back, chase, and get a
Yeah,
tackle off. But because players lose the ball all the time, but I've seen him lose the ball on walk back. That's unforgivable.
yeah.
I've seen similar with Noni. So I'm thinking it's these new players that need to get adjusted to what is required. Number one priority for Mikel is that you
Off the
are
ball.
running off the ball, that you are chasing, I'm saying
Yeah.
that you're winning duels. We've seen it. Duels.
when I win
That's
when I
what
lose a duel, I'm upset.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to see. He wants to see that you're ready to put yourself on the line for this team.
Mo, do you know what it
I
is?
find it amazing he hasn't learned
I
that.
feel,
To be honest.
Huss, I feel sorry for Eze because if he played for Chelsea, he'd be for them what Cole Palmer is. We just
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
We don't play with a luxury 10, man. Like you summed it up
yeah.
well there, Mo. There's no luxury players in the team. Like even our striker's not luxury. I often wonder, like, will we ever have a luxury player under Arteta? I almost rate that he doesn't accept it. He's like everyone's got to run for the team. But listen,
I don't think
Eze's going to
anyone can
come
have a
good.
luxury player though. No, I don't
I
think
mean,
any big team can really have luxury players anymore.
yeah,
Like the top teams, like
you're right. Real Madrid have got away with it with years. They just have the best players, so it's hard to really use them.
yeah,
Chelsea had a relatively successful season last year. If you count the Conference League and the Club World Cup, I know they're hard, but if you're not being disingenuous, you do have to, you know
it's
what
a
I mean,
decent
give
season, but
them
they're not one of the best teams in the world. You know what I
no,
mean? Like,
no. Yeah, when you think about it, there's not many top teams who have a passenger, if you're going to call it that. You are
yeah,
right.
exactly.
And so listen, it's gotten us to where it's gotten us. I mean,
And
we're
bear
in
in mind
our
that was a topic when we had Özil as well. When we had Özil, that was
yeah,
kind of a
Exactly.
topic too. That was kind of a
Pogba.
thing of like, yeah, and yeah,
I said
exactly,
about
exactly,
Pogba.
yeah.
yeah,
No, you
exactly.
can't
So
really.
even back then, it was
Yeah,
difficult.
you can't really get away with it. But hey, listen, a player who also had a good game and who's in good form and actually has more goals than Cole Palmer, non-penalty goals, and Cole Palmer this season is Noni Madueke. Now, sorry, boys, got a little bit of, I don't know what's going on there, but Madueke, I've been harsh on him. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I've been harsh. Am I getting gassed over this goal against Wigan? No, I'm not. But I like it. I like what I'm seeing. And he did score against Brentford, a good header. So I think what I want to do more is talk about that. Now, when I played football, I played on the wing. I was similar to Madueke, opposite side to your stronger foot, but I would sometimes play right wing. But I know it can be awkward playing on the opposite side to your right foot. But in this team, I think it suits him. And I think we're starting to see that. But when he scored that header against Brentford, I thought, is that what you're on? Like, you've actually got a header in the bag. Like, it was just, and to be honest, it's not the greatest header in the world.
No, I think it's a great header, you know.
It's a great header.
It's a great header.
You know it is.
I know what you mean. It's a bit fortunate. Like, it's all right for him.
Yeah, it's a good header. But all I'd say is, Huss, I think Donnarumma or someone like that saves it. That's all I'd say. And that's okay, because Donnarumma wasn't in goal. But I saw Kelleher, watch it back. He loses his foot in a little. Listen, I'm not taking anything away from him. He scores, he puts us in front, scores against Wigan. And I've been impressed with Madueke. And I sort of saved it for this section. I think Saka playing in the 10 can unlock like this new system. We've had the Odegaard, Ben White, Saka system. I really want to see, and there's two players that I want to add to it, two that aren't currently at the club. Wanyeri, who is at the club, but he's on loan, and Coyote from Brentford. I honestly think if you have Coyote, Madueke, Saka and Wanyeri as our options in that right-hand side next season, obviously Timber's going to still be there as well. But I just think that is such a good right-hand side. I think Wanyeri can unlock Madueke. I didn't think they could actually really play together, but I think they can. I honestly think Madueke would benefit from another dangerous, direct player playing with him rather than someone who just gives him the ball and says, run to the byline and cross it. I don't know if you boys agree, but I think it just gives him more freedom, a little bit more space. Yeah, I just think there's a lot of potential in Madueke, and I think he's starting to show it.
I think there's so much potential for a lot of things if you keep Saka in that 10. You know, that Saka in that position could I just feel like him and Madueke, I feel like you can trust them to link up quite well. You know what I mean? I feel like Madueke's problem at the minute is, or, you know, not to say he's got a particular problem, but his problem is we're almost asking quite a lot from him. We're asking him to do Saka stuff. We're asking him to do what Saka's had to do in the last sort of 3 or 4 years, which is like almost carry the ball independently on that wing up against two. You're up against the left back and the left wing back or the left centre mid. You've got to get to the byline. You've got to make the right decision. You've got to cut inside. You've got to cross it in. You've either got to put in a good shot when you do have the ball. It's a lot of responsibility on that right wing position. And, you know, for Saka, for a lot of his years, he had Odegaard running, almost holding his hand, you know. Like, literally, Odegaard would be right centre mid holding his hand. Ben White would be on the overlap, you know, alongside him. And they had a good thing going on as a trio, you know. And I don't think Madueke's actually had that, to be honest, this season. I think Timber's obviously had a great season, but you can't really say that, like, Timber and Madueke have had, like, this connection on the right wing, or Odegaard and Madueke have had any sort of connection on the right, or who else?
Ben White and Noni have.
Ben White Ben White and Noni have had a better connection than, but even that, it's not the same as like the Ben White Saka connection. You know, it's still taking some time to get there, but I think it will get there. You know, with some time.
I think the key to that right hand side, our attack or that fluid football, is Ben White. Like, I love Timber. I love what he offers defensively. I love he's a soldier, battles everything. Even in attack, he wants to do what he can. He drives it up, and he finds himself in those pockets. But it's just something that Ben White offers. When we play with him there, that whole the inside passes, the overlap runs, it just makes our attack just a little bit more fluid. Well. Timber makes us stronger, like, I think physically stronger and everything. But Ben White makes us just more fluid.
No, do you know what it is with Timber? And I feel sorry for Timber because his form, he's come under quite a lot of scrutiny recently because of his form. And I honestly think if he was just a few inches taller, he'd be a centre back. And I don't think we'd ever see him at right back. I honestly think Timber is like a if he was playing in the 90s, he'd be like a sweeper. He'd just sit behind the defense, or he'd be the centre back who drives out with it. Not to do Ibs' job, but a little bit like a Beckenbauer, Lothar Matthäus, Rude Hillet, where he's a little bit of a. He's just not that guy in the attacking third. Rude Hillet was, by the way, but I think he's just a central player. I'm not sure he's a right back. I just think he's that good, similar to Ben White, that he gets where playing at right back. But I think Ben White's a little bit more athletic, and it's probably why he suffers from so many muscular injuries, because Ben White has got that sort of lean muscle, whereas Timber's very stocky and quite, robust. And I think what we've seen with Timber is he just hasn't got the legs or the athleticism to sprint up and down the pitch, game in, game out, game in, game out. I actually think he's doing a really good job for us, because I don't think Ben White could actually play the amount of games Timber's playing. I think Timber's covering a big old gap there for us. And that's why I think we should sign Michael Coyote. Similar to what I said we should move on from Trossard last season. I love Ben White, but it is my dream Ben White lifts the Premier League and then he goes somewhere else. I don't know where. I'd love to see him in Italy, where he hasn't got to run as much, or somewhere like that. Maybe Spain. But yeah, I don't know. What do you boys make of Timber's form? I don't think he's been bad. I just think going forward, he's not been very effective.
I'm going to be a bit more harsh on you, Rob. I think he's been poor.
Well, even defensively.
I think he's been poor. I think he's been poor, man.
But defensively, Huss, as well.
Defensively, I don't think he's been outstanding. Like that's free. This is, what my dad said this on the plane. My dad has got some hilarious football opinions, but every now and then he says something which I think, you know what, he's got a point. He said to me, Timber's not been the same. He said to me that Timber's not been the same since he saw Esteban. And I said, you know what? I said, you know what? If I trace it back, it is about then. Even though
dads love them Brazilian players as well. Dads love a Brazilian player, innit? So he's just like, ever since he saw Esteban.
Well, you know what? That is about the game. Like about that, the last 4 or 5 games, and I think we mentioned in the last pod. For me, for mostly, it's not a defensive thing. I've not been sat there watching and thought, Timber's been getting rinsed defensively at any point. But I have thought for the last 3 or 4 games, like he's been quite poor on the ball. He's getting in a lot of positions, and it's almost hindering us quite a lot. Sort of his lack of effectiveness in the final third. He's kind of not being very brave with his passing choices. I'll say he goes back a lot. I think Saliba's a lot more courageous on the ball at times than Timber is. Sometimes I see Timber and Saliba almost going back and forth past each other, and then eventually Saliba goes on like a little run or passes it in between the lines, and that's maybe where we get something going. In that Brentford game, that was the first game where I actually thought he's not even doing very well defensively either. Like there was a point in time where he got put on his arse once, and I just thought, I don't see that happen to Timber very often. And I don't necessarily think it's Timber's fault. I think he just probably needs a bit of a rest, to be honest. I think he just needs a bit more rotation, needs a bit of a break. And I think we'd benefit quite a lot from seeing a bit more Ben White in the next couple of games. Who did we play right back against? We played Ben White right back against Wigan, but that makes me think that he's probably not going to play right back against Wolves.
Yeah,
we're definitely going to play Timber against Spurs. So
whenever it comes to Timber, I got to caveat it with the guy. What tore his ACL in his first game for us, and then it took a year out, and he's just been playing consistent. Honestly, it's almost criminal that we've been playing him this much, because I've got to put it out there for player well-being. I'm a union man myself, so I care about individuals. But what we're doing to him, because we're saying this now, we've got amazing out of him, and then he might start getting injured and not being the same player, sort of like what we're getting with Ben White. And then we as fans are a bit fickle, and we start giving it they're just not good enough. They're not good enough to do this job, to do what we need. But it gets to a point where you got to ask for the player well-being, because we're seeing our players starting to get to a point where, is it them or is it something that we're doing where they're just consistently getting all these injuries. And
remember last season when we
with
was in that
Timber,
Champions
the
League
fact-
run?
yeah,
When we was in that Champions League run
Yes.
last season, and then he played so much, and Gabriel went down injured, Havertz had gone down injured, and then I remember Timber went down injured before the first Real Madrid game, I think it was. He comes off
Yeah.
injured, and then he started that game anyway against Real Madrid and bossed it again. I remember as a fan base, we were there thinking, "Fucking hell, is Timber injured as well?" And he came back, played through it, bossed through those games. And yeah, I'll never take anything away. He's an absolute soldier, like. But at the same time, I just worry: are we overplaying him? Are we running him into the
The
ground?
answer is
I mean,
yes.
yeah,
The answer is
we
yes.
are.
We
I'm
are
telling.
overplaying him.
I'm telling you, this is why. Listen, I didn't want to do it. But if you play Football Manager, it's the real reason I know about Coyote. I'll be honest, right? I remember when Brentford signed him, and I thought, where's all the other Premier League teams? I honestly think, and this is a mad take, I actually think a lot of teams could benefit of just looking at the Football Manager database and just
I think
thinking.
they do. I think Brentford.
I don't think they do
I think I've
enough,
seen that.
though. I think they should
Yeah.
more, Huss. I think your Brightons and your Brentfords and your Bournemouths probably do. I think they're a lot of they rely heavy on analytics. And to be fair, I think Premier League clubs, or the top ones like the Big Six, I think they like to see them at that level and then sign them. Because there's obviously loads of examples of signing players arguably too young, and then I always wonder if Guendouzi came in the league at a Bournemouth or Brentford, would he have gone on to be like? Because he came straight into Arsenal. Once you go into that big club, unless you just hit the ground running, it's almost like even Lucas Torreira. I used to think he was a class player, but I always think was the level. Yeah, like was the level too high too soon? But yeah, this is why I think we need to sign a right back, a young right back, who can run and hasn't had any major injuries. You even look at Calafiori. One of the boys said in the chat is he made a paper mache. Like he's had a mad knee injury before he joined Arsenal, sort of why he left Roma, went to Basel, then went to Bologna. Now he's at Arsenal. But with Coyote, I think he's 22, maybe 21, really young. And he's got a throw-in. Like, we love set pieces. How can we not add the guy with the best throw-in to our team? Like that would just be like.
He'll definitely be on the watch list. It's gotta be.
Who else? Is there any other right backs for Arsenal and Timber? Like, because I don't know. Do you boys agree with me that Ben White? I think we should look to move him on. Have you got a bit too much sentiment with Benny Blanco?
I mean, I don't know about looking to move him on personally. If he can stay fit, I would keep him. But that's the thing.
Yeah, but I just think we're not in the business of flipping. Like, remember when we had El Neni for time, like, and it was kind of alright because we never relied on El Neni anyway, and it was sort of just like, let's not kick the guy out on the street, like. But I'm past this sentiment state.
Yeah, Rob is one of them. Yeah, Rob will.
It's me. It's not sentiment.
Everyone.
It's when he
Rob's
plays,
on the straight. Get out of the club.
Do you know what it is? You can come back, but I look at people like Koscielny. Always just think, what if we just sold Koscielny a year earlier and he doesn't do that weird Bordeaux reveal? Like no one talks about Koscielny anymore because of how it ended. Like I just think you're sometimes better off leaving.
I don't think that's why they don't talk about him. I think the reason we don't talk about Koscielny anymore is because the guys that we've got right now in those positions sort of have eclipsed him in a way.
But part of it is what Rom said as well. Part of it, like for me, after he did that weird shit, a lot of us just kind of were like, "Fuck you, then." Like, after all that, you know what I'm saying? Like, after all that, you're gonna go and do that.
Like Mo, we still talk about like I don't know, like Hleb. Hleb's not like a legend or icon of the club. We still talk about Hleb because we sort of like him.
Alex Song. I see Alex Song compilations of
it. You know what? It just wasn't a great era of Arsenal that period.
Well, you say that,
I rated Koscielny massively. I rated Koscielny so highly. Like for me, he was actually one of my favorites.
Yeah, I did. But like not on Monreal.
Mo,
like I love Monreal. No one mentions it.
Yeah, but Mo, these man, you know, you're right. They aren't mentioned enough. I do think Monreal. I see some tweets saying, imagine Monreal playing inverted, flipping passes to Trossard.
He was always a bit of a cool guy though, Monreal.
Yeah,
even like at the time.
La Cabra, they call him the GOAT.
it wasn't like he was a unanimous Arsenal fan favourite, Nacho Monreal. I feel like a lot of that's revisionism in the sense that I loved
He
him at the time,
became
but
it.
he wasn't an always starter, was he?
He
Yeah,
started off. He started off with him and Kieran Gibbs. Kieran Gibbs was
Yeah,
probably the one that we preferred a bit more, and
yeah.
then
Then Monreal
slowly
emerged. Yeah,
Monreal became like
I Mo,
a
good
big
knowledge
player.
because I remember when I had to
right.
stop starting Gibbs on FIFA because
Yeah,
I felt rude. I
Yeah,
was starting Gibbs, but I knew Monreal was the guy. But
Monreal.
I'll
Gibbs
tell
Yeah,
was
you
a
this,
baller
Mo,
though before his injuries.
bro, big up
he
Kieran
was.
Gibbs,
Yeah,
man. Big him up. I'll never forget his rude awakening. I think it was against United in the Champions League at the Emirates. He got chucked in
God.
there, and
Yeah, yeah.
Ronaldo just taught him what this level was. But all I'd say is, Mo, them that they did win us a few FA Cups. They did.
That's
So
true.
Yeah,
I do respect them.
that's true.
Quickly, another player had a good game, Christian Norgard. We've labelled him Danish Xavi on the pod. He showed
And dude,
his
well done. Did we invent
Xavi.
that, by the way?
Yeah,
Now
must have
I don't.
Romario did.
No,
'Cause
no, Mo.
yeah, 'cause I've been using that. I've been using that like it's just a normal term. And like the
Yeah,
Danish, I've been, oh, yeah, see how the Danish Shabby played the weekend. Like, the Danish Shabby.
nah, Mo. Do
I'm
you know what
thinking,
it
what?
is, bruv? I'd love to take credit, but I did see it on Twitter somewhere. I think I
It's
don't
ours now.
remember. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
take it. If you're gonna give it to me, I'll take it.
Gotta
Pause.
claim
But
that now.
Norgard, what are we saying to Norgard? Were you impressed? Should he be playing more in the league? What's going on there?
Bro, we mentioned it before. I think the guy should be playing a bit more, like more just for the rotations. Like
Yeah, yeah,
Zubi as
yeah.
well looked a little bit tired here and there, and just to get the best out of him, get him in. Plus as well, Rice has been playing a lot of minutes, and he's coming out looking like he's been in the battles in the last few games. Every now and then, just let Norgard play. The guy's got a good passing versatility. His passing range was on display the other day. Like and you know what as well, there was one of the other games, can't remember who it was, where he was doing all the it might have been Kyra, where he was doing all them
Cara, yeah,
flicks or everything.
yeah.
Like he's a good player. Like
He's
we're
got
we're
better
actually
every
being
game
a
he
bit
plays for us.
disrespectful. Hmm?
Every game he's played for us, he's played better than the one before. I think.
And there's been the game where he played as centre back as well when we had a
Yeah,
few
Yeah,
players injured.
I
played
think he
two
went
And he
into
played
FA
centre
good.
against
back.
Portsmouth.
I think he
You know
went
what it is?
into
He just
centre back
seems
yesterday.
he gets on the ball. He just seems
Yeah,
so composed. Like he's not. He doesn't seem worried about the occasion. He's an experienced player. Sometimes that's what we need.
Yeah,
it's tough
but
because like, go on. Well,
sorry,
I
Huss.
think I know what you're gonna say, but
And I've said it a few times. My only caveat is we have only seen him play against
yeah,
opposition that we're
that's what I was gonna
truly
say.
expected to beat. Like I don't know, but that's Arteta's problem. It's his problem and his gift. Arteta. It sums him up. Is he's quite risk averse in everything, and even selection. And I think in his head he doesn't trust Norgard to do what Zubimendi can do. Like I don't know, it is a shame. I do think you're right, mate, because he used to play 38 games a season at Brentford
Yeah.
in the Premier League, captain. He's not a player who isn't at Premier League level. I think
Mm.
he's got X amount of caps for Denmark as well, like a respectable amount. So I do think he's been underutilized. I do think we should see him more.
Well,
Yeah,
I do,
definitely.
but I think he'd definitely be underutilized because if you think about it, he was basically brought in as a Jorginho kind of replacement. You know, we obviously we lost Jorginho and Partey. We brought in Zubimendi and Norgard, and you know, you'd have thought if we had a player like Jorginho, he'd have played a bit more. You know, you'd have thought that'd be someone who gets a bit more minutes. We've almost sort of been so trapped to this Rice Zubimendi duo. I think one thing we've seen from Norgard is he actually allows you to get more attacking players onto the pitch. I think Eze definitely benefits when Norgard's on the pitch because it's someone who just sort of one who passes the ball forward and someone who's just dedicated to sort of staying in front of the back four. Whereas Rice and Zubimendi can both kind of go a bit. It kind of plays more of a two rather than like a one in front of the back four. They're both kind of going. They're both up and down. Whereas I think Norgard allows you to go. You could play Norgard, Erdegaard, and Eze. I would think. You know, I feel quite more confident in that than I probably would play in Zubimendi, Erdegaard, and Eze.
Yeah, I
Because
get that.
Mm.
you know what I mean? Because I would know that Norgard's going to sit in front of the six and sort of sit in front of the back four. Sorry, protect the defense as well as sort of do the passing thing. Whereas Zubimendi can drift forward and go forward. You might just get caught out if you have the other three. So
Yeah.
Rice as the sitting base six is something we haven't really seen as much since he joined, really, since the first few months after he joined. So I do think we need to utilise Norgard more. But one thing I'm worried about now is, with 12 games left of the season, obviously we've got Mansfield in the cup. How many games are we getting now to rotate players and test new things and give players new minutes? I feel like we're going to get to a point very shortly in which, with that whole 2-11 thing that we've got, is just going to slowly shift down into one pretty consistent 11 with 4 or 5 subs.
Not with cup games, Huss. I think we'll see a lot of Norgard, especially like you mentioned, Mansfield away, Champions League. I think you'll have no choice but to use Norgard a lot, bro. Honestly, I don't.
I hope he does play Norgard.
Because Huss, we're in every competition, literally. Like, he's gonna have to rest players. He's gonna have to.
Is Mansfield who we've got next round of the cup?
Yeah. We got the easiest ties. City have got Newcastle away.
We're getting a bit fortunate at the minute with the FA Cup draw. What is that? Is that the quarter final? Is it? Or
it's 5th round. It's one before. It's the last 16. But this is what I mean.
If I'm not mistaken, every time we've got past the 3rd round under Mikel, we've gone on to win it.
We've only got past 3rd round once.
Hey, that's shameless. I can't lie. That is a shameless stat.
That's true.
I'm not mistaken.
What I took from that stat was that we've never got past the 3rd round.
Yeah. Well in Huss. Not much goes over your head, Huss.
Yeah, that's not a pleasant stat to hear.
Yeah, nah. I like it though. It's a positive stat. Quickly, big up Norgard. Nwaneri. Let's talk about even Nwaneri quick, because I've been quite vocal about Nwaneri even before the season started, to be honest. In terms of, I didn't like the Madueke signing because I thought it'd stunt his growth. That was before Eze came in. If I'd known we were going to sign Eze and Madueke, I probably would have been even more against the Madueke signing. But life is life; it happened. He then goes on loan in the January window to Marseille. De Zerbi gets sacked a week after reports said he left, and then he stayed, and then he got sacked or he left. And then their director of football, Mehdi Benatia, has also left. What is going on there, boys? I mean, it's just like, obviously the club can't predict that that's going to happen. But when Arteta was praising De Zerbi, I thought, is this the same De Zerbi that we all know? The same De Zerbi that is a savage? Like, I get it. Arteta's got this whole like teacher-student thing. Maybe he thinks Ranieri needs like a tough breading where, he's getting shouted at on the training pitch. Things mean stuff. I get that angle, but he's actually got into a very volatile situation where I'm going to monitor it closely. I don't think Marseille have played since Benatia left. I think they played since De Zerbi left. I'll check their score quick. But boys, what do you make of the situation there?
I don't
They drew
too
with
much.
Strasbourg. They drew with Strasbourg.
I think he was on new sub, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Unused sub.
Yeah.
Last game,
well, I guess. Well, I don't know about the Marseille situation as much, but I'll speak on Nwaneri, which is, I think he was always good enough to stay. I didn't like us sending him out on loan. I saw Mikel said recently, like, who would have predicted that Mikel gets injured, this person gets injured, this person gets injured? I would have. All of us would have predicted it. Any Arsenal fan in the world would have predicted it. So for me, I wish that we never loaned him out. I think it was better for his growth, potentially, if he goes to a team like that's actually playing him and giving him minutes. But I think for the team, sometimes you've got to be a bit of a bastard and just have players waiting, just ready for their opportunity. Because what Ethan's given us, real talk, he's given us more than what he's shown for us. He's shown more than Eze has for us. He's shown more than Madueke has shown for us in the time that he's had his opportunities. So I think that's not someone that you need to just turn your nose up at and send away. I think if he was here right now, the way that maybe Eze will pick his way back up, but the way that Eze has been with his form and stuff, I think Nwaneri would be getting these minutes right now, especially with Ødegaard out injured and whatnot.
Like, do you know what frustrates me, mate? It worries me, man. Like, I'm not sure, and I don't want to, because it's Mikel Arteta. He obviously knows a lot more than I do. But I like a player's a player. Like we all know what a good player is, and for me, with Ethan Nwaneri, he's of the same talent level as Esteval, Rio Ngamoa. I don't know if you can think of any other names. They're just the first two that come to my head. Ryan at Bournemouth. He's of that level. That's why Marseille took him on loan. For me, it really worries me. We're gonna not ruin his career, but we're gonna ruin the opportunity that we have. A player of Nwaneri's level. I think in terms of natural ability, he's probably the best player to come out of our youth team since Jack Wilshere for me. He's better than Saka naturally for me. Saka's obviously turned out to be whatever he is, but that's a big talent there with Nwaneri. And some of the noises at the start of the window from the Athletic, who we know are very well connected to the club, were that Nwaneri actually preferred to stay at Arsenal. He turned down a loan to Bournemouth. Bournemouth then go and sign Ryan. They knew Semenyo was going. He turned down that move because apparently he wanted to be in and around the title-winning squad. That was the narrative. And then all of a sudden, the narrative comes out he's going to Marseille, and Arteta's a big fan of De Zerbi and how he works, and it'll be good for him. I just worry that he's not being managed correctly. I don't know much about his agents. Even that contract stuff was giving me red flags. You saw how smooth Lewis Skelly and Dowman's contract was. Nwaneri seemed a little bit more hostile. I think Nwaneri's similar to Saliba in terms of the level. The talent is world-class. You know it's going to be, but you just need to nurture it and see it blossom. And I worry we might not see Nwaneri blossom. I do, because to send that boy out on loan to France, Marseille, under De Zerbi is savage. And I don't mind that savagery. But like you said, Mo, when you're saying who could have guessed that all these players got injured, Mick, it happened last year. Loads of players got injured. So it could happen again. So, yeah, man, I don't know what you boys think, if you've got anything to add on that. But I'm such a big fan of Ethan Nwaneri. I think he can go on to be one of the best players in the world. But I think a lot of it's development, man.
I don't think I agree, but I don't think
told I hope that
I don't think
that
Arteta
we'd be able to recall
the
him.
same way.
Say that again.
So I don't think Arteta rates him the way we do personally. And I've said this from the start of the season. I think the way that we hold Nwaneri to this pedestal and we look at Nwaneri the way that we do as a talent, I think that Arteta could easily see him as a sellable asset, and I think they could see him as someone that we definitely look to move on.
You said that
in the next
before,
12 to 18 months. Yeah, I think we have said that before. I think for me, it spoke volumes of the fact that when Ødegaard got injured, for me, Nwaneri came on, played quality that we didn't see Nwaneri again for about 8 games, and that was in a situation when Ødegaard was already injured. Havertz was already injured. So we was already in a situation where we could have saw more of Ethan Nwaneri and we weren't seeing him. And then we've sent him out on loan at a time where Ødegaard's in and out of injuries, Havertz in and out of injuries. Arteta said in that press conference that he couldn't have predicted Ødegaard and these guys all being injured. I don't believe that for a second. Like I believe wholeheartedly Arteta and his team have sat there and thought, well, what are we going to do if all of these players get injured? And the answer would have been, we're still not playing Nwaneri. That's what I think the answer would have been. That's what I think he would have thought. Arteta's not stupid. Like you said, we could have all predicted that these injuries would have happened. They could have predicted that these injuries would have happened. And the truth is, they were happy to gamble. They thought, well, if all these injuries happen, we've got Eze. And they're willing to gamble that not all 4 are going to get injured. Maybe 3 are going to get injured. And that tells you that Nwaneri is basically 5th choice in terms of the midfield options. Well, what is it? Havertz, Marino, Ødegaard, Eze, 5th choice in total. So if he's 5th choice, what is the point of him being there on the bench or even in the squad at all? Unless they understand that, if he goes out on loan, he's going to come back a better player. I remember the same thing that Romario was saying there about mismanagement. I worried the exact same way about Saliba. I was pretty much convinced Saliba was going to leave. I never thought Saliba was going to sign a contract with Arsenal. I thought the way Arteta treated Saliba the first 2 years was mental. We sent him out on loan. He had a great loan. We sent him straight back out on loan again. And it didn't look as if we really cared for Saliba that much. It seemed as if, we was probably quite ready to shift Saliba on. And then he comes back, and within the first game, he was a starter, and he ended up showing us all how talented he is. And I do believe that Arteta actually was probably willing to sell Saliba until he came back and saw how good he was. and was like, you know what, I've just got no choice but to play him. That could be the same for Wanyeri. I think Wanyeri's got to put himself in a position where he, with a loan, ideally, he makes it clear that he has to be, someone to consider. But there's also a world in which the loan isn't working out. He comes back. It looks difficult for him. And we might even consider moving him on in the summer, to be honest. But I hope that's not the case. I really hope that's not. I think he's got to get at least one more year. But I think the emergence of Max Dowman is also something which makes me wonder, like, is there really room for both of these guys? That might be a different question, but is there room for both Max Dowman and Ethan Wanyeri to really blossom? Obviously, there is if one plays Cam, one plays right wing, but then you've got your Sakas, you've got your Ezes, you've got all these guys.
Don't say Madweki. Don't say it.
Madweki as well,
Do you know it is us? It's so tough for us because you made a good point there, bro. Like Cole Palmer left City. Like big players do leave top clubs. And listen, I don't think Wanyeri will leave, but I do. Even the way you're talking to us, it makes so much sense. The new contract, keeping his value. Yeah, I'm not writing off Wanyeri leaving, but listen,
I'm not either.
Hopefully he gets some games at Marseille, and it doesn't derail because they've even changed formation. They're playing 4 at the back. So yeah, where does Wanyeri fit in? Let's see.
I was always just holding out hope. I was always just holding a hope that we could recall him, but clearly seems that's
nah, it's important. You can't recall.
But
you can't recall outside the transfer window anyway because you can't
Can you
register. You can't register players after the 1st of Feb. So after the transfer window closes, you got until like 12 o'clock to register players. And then so like even Champions League squads like Mattis Tell, he's not in the Tottenham Champions League squad, so you couldn't recall Wanyeri and play him anyway. So you'd have to have done it in January. But anyway, big up Wanyeri, free him, bring him back. Wolves. Let's quickly chat about Wolves. I can't believe the time. What do we think? Bottom of the league. We've got to win, lads. It's away. But yeah, back to the league. What do you reckon?
It's a game in hand. We're playing them early, I swear. And we're going to have a game in hand above City. So we need to get that win. Yeah. We need to just get that win. And then if we do, we can keep that 7-point gap. So I'm not counting my chickens before they hatch, but
I think that's a tougher game than we think. I think that's a tough game, man.
I think every game's tough, but I think we just need to get that win. Like, there's just find any way.
We should do.
I do think it's a tough game. Yeah, I think, like you both have said there, tough game. Every game's tough. Go and win it. It's simple, innit? It is simple. Wolves are bottom of the league. If you want to win the league, you can't be going to bottom of the league and flipping not winning. Yeah, it's just impossible. Should we do a quick team lineup? I think it's back to me. Obviously, David Raya in goal. Mo, who you going at right back?
I think Timber will start, but what I would pick if we were doing our team is I would pick Ben White. But we're predicting. We're doing what we predict.
Now we're doing. This is our 11, so we're building
our 11.
Yeah, this is our 11. Yeah.
Then I would play Ben White.
Ben White. Huss, no prizes here. Me and you got the centre back.
Yeah, of course. The boss.
Saliba, Gabriel.
Left back, I'm going to say Nkapie.
Yeah. Piero. My boy.
Piero.
God, so.
You know what? Just before I was going to say, it's a shame for Skelly because it would have been nice to actually see him get those midfield minutes.
I'd rather see Skelly personally, but not gonna happen.
It is. I would have rather. I'm happy we saw Saka. There's always a silver lining, and I actually think the silver lining was Saka got to play in the 10. But yeah,
you know what? I really don't care about seeing Skelly play in midfield. Like everyone keeps going on about, like we've got to see Miles Lewis Skelly in midfield. I really don't care. Like it's not gonna happen. Like we've got Rice and Subamendi. They're playing every game of importance, like for the rest of the season, for whatever.
We don't know what will happen with injuries.
Yeah,
anything
if
can
someone
happen
gets
to
injured,
Rice.
then it becomes a different situation. But Miles Lewis-Skelly playing left back would be enough. He's not even playing left back, so we're not going to see him in central midfield. That's the way I see it, anyway. But what are we on? Are we on the centre mid position?
Yeah.
Yes, sentiments.
It's a tough one. It's actually a tough one. I'd love to see Norgard start, but would
Really?
I start Norgard? No, I wouldn't.
Hey,
I'd like
big
to
up
see him start, but
Huss.
in reality, obviously, I'd fall back on first midfield on my team should be Declan Rice, of course. So I'll take that
Yeah.
slot and let you lot do the rest.
Hey, listen. Well, I'm up, and I'm not gonna do any of this nicety stuff because Huss
Mm.
switches between a savage and a sweetheart, and I don't know how he does
Mm.
it. But Norgard, I'll be honest. I know I said we should see more of him. Not that much in the Prem, and this is bottom of the league. But I don't actually. Yeah, nah. Zubi and Rice. Zubi's in there for me. Mo, you got the nice number 10 or number 8, whatever you want to look at it in Arteta's mad world. Who you picking?
This is an interesting one now because
Is it?
I think so, because I think we don't have that many options. So it should be Eze. But I think Mikel trusts Saka more. And we've seen him do that a little bit there. I think he might
Remember,
start
this is
Saka.
your team. This is your team. Forget Mikel. This is your team. So if you want Saka in there, you put Saka in there, Mo.
Because I'm trying to think with a Mikel hat, because what I think he would do is Noni's been playing well. Why shift him out? Saka's got to play. If Saka's fit, he plays no matter what. So, I think he'll give Eze another chance then. I
Everything you
say
said
this
pointed
every
towards
week.
Saka then.
I say this every week that he's going to give Eze. But you know what? Nah, he's not. He's going to put Saka there. He's going to play Saka in the 10. So that's what I'm
I
doing.
could see that. You know what? This is the thing of why I said I wouldn't mind seeing Norgard, because I don't think Eze plays very well with Rice and Zubimendi behind him. I think
They don't give him the ball.
they're
Sometimes they just
they're not forward, like they don't pass between the lines enough. They don't go forward into Eze. I don't think they trust Eze loads in terms of in those positions where Eze wants the ball. I don't know if they trust giving him it in those positions. I do think if Saka was on the pitch, they would give him it, because Saka's got that ability
But
to just hold off differently. And Saka's so
he's
good at
got
receiving ball with back to goal. So good at it. So I'd actually
Saka's earned the trust for that.
I'd actually
So I'm
Saka
going to
there.
say Saka 10.
Saka
You know
10,
what?
yeah.
When we had that debate about Ødegaard and how I don't think Ødegaard's going to last that much longer, I don't know if you heard it, but I did sneak Saka's name into there as well. I don't really actually want to see Saka being this explosive winger for too much longer. I don't know if his hamstrings can handle it for that much longer, to be honest. I think he needs to shift into another role. I think we're killing him a bit. And I think
No, I
Madueke,
agree.
if we're going to put Saka in midfield, then it has to be Madueke on right wing, doesn't it?
Madueke right wing. I didn't think I'd see the day, but he did score a hat trick against Wolves for Chelsea a few years
Oh
back.
yeah, what did you put in the story?
Scored
The
4.
City is shit.
Was it 4 he scored?
Scored 4.
What,
Yeah,
in
and he
one
put in the
game?
story.
4 against Wolves. When he put in his story, they're shit.
This is a shit. Oh,
The City is a shit. And we're away at Wolves tomorrow. He's got to start.
Which
No
was
two ways
4 of
about it.
his 7 goals in that season. But nonetheless,
Yeah.
up front, I will be starting.
Facts.
My boy, the mask, Victor Gyökeres. Go on, my boy. Get up there. Get yourself 4 goals. That's what I want to see, Victor.
That's what I
Go
need.
to Wolves and get a hat trick at least. That's all I need.
So we
not
got
asking
what,
for
left
much.
wing?
Left wing.
Boy, I just want to go. But last game though, do you not think again that game kind of proved Gyökeres needs to be coming off the bench?
He didn't do
If
anything.
we brought Gyökeres off the bench in that game when it was 1-1, we'd have won that game, in my opinion.
What, against Brentford, you mean?
Yeah, if we had Gyökeres to bring on,
I just think that's too
we
simplistic.
bro, I think we had nothing. We had nothing on the
Yeah, but Huss, he
transition.
started against Chelsea in the Carabao, didn't he? And
He played good. I thought he played good
I'm not
against
saying he only
Brentford.
plays well. I'm not saying he only plays well when he's off the bench, but there was a period of that game, like a 15-minute period of that game, we was up against it with Brentford battering us, and we were essentially trying to hit him on the break on transition.
Okay, well,
we couldn't do it.
my caveat to that, Huss, would be Gyökeres and Saka linked up, played a good ball through. The only issue was it was Timber running through with Martinelli. Whereas if you actually swap Timber, Martinelli with Gyökeres and Saka probably make that into a goal. So I know what you're saying.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's exactly what I'm
But
saying.
yeah, but the left winger and right back were running forward. Do you know what I mean? Like I just think it's too easy to say if Gyökeres came off the bench, we have a better chance winning the game.
What was like all the choices there? Jesus off the bench. It doesn't. It's not. It doesn't fill you with like. You know what I mean? When you're chasing the game and you're bringing Jesus to the bench, it doesn't fill
Where
you
was
with
your
like.
guy Trossard, Mr. Clutch, Mr. Best Attacker of the season? Where was he when we needed a goal?
He played all right. I thought he played all
He was
right.
probably one of our better players. He was
I bet
actually
you're
one of our
gonna.
better
Hey,
players.
listen. I bet you're gonna start Trossard against Wolves, ain't you? I can just smell it.
100%.
You know what?
It's
Actually,
not even
no,
a question anymore.
I wouldn't actually. I'd put Eze on left wing. Personally,
You know who I'd start?
You start Eze over Trossard. There's no way I'm starting Eze over Trossard.
I hear Eze.
Yeah,
I
just want to see Eze on the pitch. Really,
I
want to see him
to
on left wing,
but he just hasn't earned it above Trossard.
No,
Hasn't
well,
he?
yeah,
No.
but we could bring him off the bench.
No way he
but
has.
He hasn't earned it. No, not earned it. But I'd love to see
Trossard's
him.
been
Either way,
one of our best players all season.
He has, but are we going to run him into the ground as well? We already have maybe the amount of minutes Trossard's played is probably the most he's ever played in an Arsenal season this year, right?
Yeah, I reckon
Probably,
so.
yeah.
Sorry, I'm just quickly going through, yeah, and this isn't me trying to get, digging on Trossard again, but in Trossard's last 7 Premier League games, he's got 1 assist and no goals. Yeah, against Sunderland. That's all I'm saying. And this is sort of why I say. So in the league, Trossard's got 5 goals, 5 assists from 16 starts, 22 games. It's decent, to be fair. It's not bad, but it's sort of Mo. And I know I'm a bit savage on Trossard, but it's sort of why I wanted him gone was because I don't think we have enough clutch players, and he's one of the players that. Like, I just don't think
that doesn't make sense. If you haven't got enough clutch players, why would you get rid of one of the clutch players?
Because I don't think he is clutch. I don't think he is. This is my point. I think
he's
we
not
need
clutch,
someone.
But he's more clutch than what we've got.
Yeah, but
I mean, look, if Trossard had that chance Martinelli had, I think he scores it personally.
Yeah, probably.
Or at least
probably.
more likely. He's more likely.
He's more likely. Anyway. He's more likely, but I don't think he. Yeah. All I'm saying is, how many games has Trossard won for us this season? You say he's been one of our better players. Tell me how many games he's won for us. I can't think of many games Trossard's won for us. I
think in a lot of these games, right? I'll give you some where he scored the important goal. Right, Spurs, he scores the first goal. Villa, he scores the second goal that makes it actually 2-0, and then we start breaking through. Which one did you say? Sunderland.
Sunderland
goal.
in front.
Got 2-1 up as well. That's just off the top of my head. Like, there's got to be more. And if I go back to last season, scored the winner against Villa in the first game of the season. There's been a bunch of them.
Yeah, he scored
goals against Man City.
Yeah, no, big up Trossard, man. It's
not a crazy amount of goals, though. It's not. But that's what it is, though. That's our attacking, isn't it? That's our attack right now.
Yeah,
I just think this year he's been more the ones that you can rely on to actually perform and do something in attack. We haven't had much in attack this year, but I think Trossard's been one of the ones that.
But I do think his performances have dwindled in 2026. I don't think the form he had up until the new year, I think it's dwindled a bit since January. I think he's had some good games, but his form has dwindled a little bit. And I don't necessarily think he has to be. It has to be the first name on the team sheet, sort of thing. Like, I do think he can.
I think it does for left
Martinelli
wing
or for Eze. I think he can get benched.
I think at the minute for left wing, I think it's his position to lose.
I wouldn't be shocked if it was Martinelli, but it is his position to lose. Definitely, it's been his position to lose all year.
I think you're right, Mo. If I just stop being a donut for 1 second, I do think it is his position to lose. He's got 10 goals. He's got the most goals and assists for us in the league this season. Second, Gyökeres with 8, which are all goals, and then Rice with 7. But that's our problem. Like we said, that is our problem. Yeah, but to
We
be
need to
fair, we
find a way to
spread
get
them out
Saka.
over the team.
Mm.
What's that?
We need to find a way to get Saka more goals and assists, really and truly. I think
Yeah,
that
he's
has
on
to be a big
7.
part. The last
Saka's
12
on
games,
7.
we need a run from Saka. We need some goals and assists from him. And I think he will, to be honest. I think it's pretty inevitable. They will. And it's a bit harsh as well because he would have like another 3 assists if it were for own goals. Do you know what I mean? He's assisted
True.
numerous own goals. But against Wolves, he got the both assists for both own goals, but neither of them go down as his. So
Yeah,
it's a
it's
bit
tough. On fantasy
of a
they
sticky
do,
one.
but I know that's not I know that's not the same. Then
Yeah.
again, you say that, Huss. I think he might have got them assists, you know.
He got one of them. We did on FPL. On FPL, he got one of them, I think.
Nah, you're right. Officially he's got 0. Yeah, that's peak. Yeah, that's tough. That is tough.
Joking, innit?
All right, boys, should we do score predictions and then wrap it?
Mm.
All right, I'm gonna go. I'll go first. I don't. We didn't. Did we do? I don't think we done Brentford. You know.
No, we did. Sure, we did. I said 2-1. I'm pretty sure.
Hold on.
So I remember
Leeds.
thinking when it was 1-1, like, oh, if we win 2-1, I've got a
I
chance.
think I said 2-0.
Yeah, I think you
maybe
did. I
we
think you
did.
said that. I think you said that you were going to say 2-1, and then you
You
said
know what
2-0.
it is though, Huss? Why do I
No,
feel
I said
like
2-1, same as you. But
I
I
feel
said
like that's for the
all no set
Sunderland game.
pieces.
I think that's for
Say
the
that again, Bob.
Sunderland game. I think that's for the
Nah, I
Sunderland
don't
game.
think it is.
No, you did.
No,
You did. You said
no.
you said it was going to be 2-1, all set piece goals written all over them, and I said it's going to be
Yeah,
2-1, but no set piece goals.
no set piece goals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry.
remember
No, I
that.
think I might have even said 1-0 to the Arsenal. You know, I must have just not written it down.
You know
Yeah,
what's
that's
you know
my
what's
bad.
funny as well? Well, you asked us on a few episodes ago to predict the next 5 games, and it was Leeds, Sunderland, Brentford, and Spurs. And I said we'll beat Leeds, Sunderland, draw with Brentford, and then beat Spurs.
Yeah,
But
you
then obviously
did.
when it came to it, I just said, "Oh, we're going to win." Always,
All right,
always.
Wolves. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna say 2-0.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
I'm going to say 3-0.
3-0. How's what you
I think it's going to
thinking?
be tougher than we think again. I think it's going to be 2-1 again, just like the first game. I think that first game has inspired a bit of life into Wolves for this one, where they're going to think, you know what, we did all right last time. You know, and they're going to maybe nab a goal, maybe.
Yeah, bro. They've got some exciting players. They've had some decent games. They drew with Newcastle. They drew with United. They're not great, obviously. But yeah, let's see. We'll leave it there. Thank you for watching, people. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe to the channel, turn your notifications. If you're listening to us on Spotify, give the page a follow, leave us a rating as well. It really helps. Ibs will be back next week, we hope. Don't know where he is. He's probably off doing something. But yeah, Ibs will be back. I'll be back.
Inshallah.
Mo will be back, and so will Huss. Until then, people, we'll see you then. Peace.